Hey everybody, I'm Judy the YouTube Lawyer. Thank you guys so much for joining in tonight's open discussion live stream. So in the chat box, I did post a link to StreamYard. So if you guys would like to also join Toni Lombardo and me on the live stream video, then feel free to click on it and we will add you in. So the first case that we'd like to discuss is the case of Alex Murdaugh. Boy, is that a really complicated, complex case. So let me add true crime buff Toni to the screen also. She is coming in from the Boston area. And hi, Toni, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, everyone.
Good. Hello, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I got my horrible Burger King Whopper Jr., so that was my dinner that I gobbled down. So let's go ahead and get started. So what's your view in general about this whole Alex Murdaugh murder case?
He is the definition of evil. I see it in his eyes, especially that mugshot.
Yeah, it's really crazy how these rich, privileged people just end up ruining their lives and committing murder. It's just
terrible.
very compelling. Yeah, because once again, I think the reason why some people are so into the Murdaugh case is because it is very, very complex. There are so many people involved, a lot of crooked people, a lot of shady deals, other people dying that are sort of connected to the Murdaugh family.
Oh yeah, I think Stephen, the boy who was killed on the road. I think Buster had something to do with that because I think there was a rumor he was having a relationship with him, and he didn't want people to find out.
Yeah,
it's my opinion. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's also what I read also, but of course, I haven't seen any actual, like a real news outlet saying that, but that does seem really suspicious that this gay out teenager, who was supposedly the guy's friend, wound up being found dead on the side of the road, and they claimed it was maybe a hit and run, but he was actually beaten on his head.
That's right. I think somebody drove by and leaned out of the car with a bat as they were driving by, is what I think happened.
Oh, so awful. Yeah, well, we're getting some questions here. Hey, Ultra Testosterone. I'm actually a civil litigation attorney. I've been doing more and more family law, like a lot of different divorce cases, collaborative divorce, but I've also done other types of legal practice areas such as workers' comp, SSDI appeals, personal injury, just general business litigation. And when I was in law school, I spent a couple of semesters interning for public defenders' offices as well as a federal district court judge. So done a lot of different things, also medical malpractice, legal malpractice. I think that about covers it. So, and True Lifestyles is here. I hope you'll join in. She says, I wonder if Alex thought the boat accident families would be framed for the killings of his son.
I thought they did it when it first happened.
What?
I thought that it was Mallory Beach's family that did it at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because did it seem like Paul was going to get away with what happened because he was being reckless, or wasn't he drunk when he was driving the boat that crashed?
Yes, and the night when they were all in the hospital, his father was going to everybody's rooms trying to get them to tell his story. He wanted to blame it on someone else. Yeah, he's... Oh, that guy, I hope he never sees the light of day again.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many crazy things. I think I read an article saying that he is now charged with 90 different offenses. Does that sound about right?
Yep, 90 and rising.
Yeah, it is just crazy. So just for anybody who hasn't heard about the Alex Murdaugh case, he was a former prominent attorney from South Carolina who has been charged with killing his wife and son back in June of last year. And he's also been indicted on a bunch of financial crimes. For example, allegedly stealing $295,000 from his brother and the law firm that his prominent legal family founded. And he comes from a big line of respected lawyers, like even his great-grandfather was a prosecutor around there. And he's only 54 years old, but all this drama has totally followed him for all these years.
Yeah, he chose not to go into public prosecute. The what do you call it? He chose to
be a prosecutor.
Practice, probably because he knew he could rip people off easier.
Yeah, he could make a lot more money probably in private practice after ripping off so many people and taking money from his own firm. And
I don't think he had one client that he didn't rip off.
Yeah, I mean, that's just awful. This is where lawyers get a bad name, and it's just really appalling to hear that this is a real person in a state near me who did all these horrible things. So it says that recently there are more charges filed against him, 4 counts of obtaining property under false pretenses, 3 counts of money laundering, 2 counts of computer crimes. A trial is probably going to be in January for the murder charges regarding the shooting deaths of his wife, Maggie, 52, and their 22-year-old son, Paul. They were killed with different guns outside of one of the family's homes in Colleton County.
Yeah. So Stella just said, talking about the housekeeper, here's what I think happened to the housekeeper. Mm-hmm. I think Paul was being a punk and probably pushed her down the stairs, and his mother was covering for him right off the bat.
Wow. Did Paul have a history of that kind of behavior?
Oh, Paul has a very bad history with his behavior from very young. Yep.
Oh, that's terrible. Did Paul go to college?
No, Paul was always in trouble.
Oh.
I don't think Paul was going to college. He might have been. I really don't know.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, so people are saying Paul is a clown. Paul did push the housekeeper down the stairs.
That's what I think, yep.
Yeah, agrees. Somebody pushed him. Did he kill to get them? Well, I mean, he sure took all that life insurance money that really should have gone to the housekeeper's kids. Right?
Alex did, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so shady because, you guys probably already know, but there's another YouTube channel that has totally focused on the Murdaugh case. I think it's called something like the Murdaugh Murder Podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I listen. Mandy Matney and Liz Farrell.
Yeah, so you watch that a lot?
Yeah, I listen. Yeah.
So what's the deal about jellyfish? Because I was just watching a little bit of one of their recent videos, and they said something about how the Murdaughs were entangled in some sort of illegal jellyfish.
I can tell you that I've heard something about jellyfish, but like I said, there's so much that comes out on a daily basis that I just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of feel like it would take me months to really get up to speed.
Yeah, and oh my God, I'm sorry. I live on Main Street. I live on Main Street. There's always police going by constantly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Maya. Maya, she says Paul was a student at USC. Yeah, because you kind of assume, coming from a filthy rich, educated family, you would assume the kids would go to college too, even if they weren't really that good.
Oh, they were probably made to go to college, wasn't they?
Yeah, they probably got daddy to pay somebody in the admissions office to get them in. Yeah. Oh, okay. So how would you explain why he killed the wife? Wasn't it because they were going to get a divorce?
Yeah. Yep. And you know what happens in divorces? She would have got a lot of his money, and he was really all about money. That guy, just all about money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was a drug user, right? Do you think that it was just that he didn't intend to kill Paul, but maybe Paul walked in on him after he killed the wife? You think that was deliberate?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh.
And you heard about the video that they found on Paul's phone that put Alex at the scene, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was that the one where they seemed like happy and talking about the dogs or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And Maggie witnessed him shoot Paul, and she turned and ran. And he shot her down like a dog. His own wife and son. It's just so.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Well, I hope we can watch this. I'm gonna add this to the screen.
Oh yeah, play the 911.
Yeah. Let's try to play the 911 call because I actually haven't heard the whole entire thing yet. So let's see if this comes through.
He's pitiful. Listen to him.
Okay. you hear it?
Yep.
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency?
This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police and the ambulance immediately. My wife and child just got badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Adelson?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Adelson?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay? Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay? Okay.
Colin County Communications.
Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No. Nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man. I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you.
Please hurry.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions, don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number? And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really, no, ma'am.
Okay.
Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay. I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I've already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
Oh. Ma'am, I'm going to call. I need to call some of my family.
Okay. Well, do me a favor for me. Whenever you see the officer or the medics, because they're all coming to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. But we have them come in, turn on the flashes on your vehicle so they can see you, okay? You got the flashers on for me?
I do.
Okay. All right. Just whenever you see them.
Okay.
How old is your son?
22.
Okay. All right, we're getting them out there to you, okay?
And I will answer if you call.
All right.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take that off the screen. Yeah, I just thought it would be interesting because I haven't heard the whole entire 911 call before. So True Lifestyle says, I think he just wondered if he could get away with it. This was his sick fantasy and he thought the boat accident would cover it up. But wasn't the boat accident several years before, or a couple of years?
A couple years, yep.
Yeah. So, but did anything ever happen to his son for
Yeah.
causing the boat accident?
Yeah, he was actually brought into court and they were just about ready to, get the stuff going. He was going to pay. Well, they were going to try to make him pay anyway.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I really heard Alex talking that much. So you're right. I mean, he is kind of like a caricature the way.
Well, every time he appears in court, I watch it.
Oh, okay.
He's bald now.
Yeah,
Shaved
exactly. Is that his normal hair coloring? How come his hair looks so?
No, now it's white, like gray. He had orange hair like his son Buster, like the rest of them.
Oh, okay. I thought that maybe it almost looked like his hair was dyed or something.
No, it's white now, gray, whatever.
Yeah.
Bald,
Okay.
pretty much.
Ross says, I think he killed Paul because Paul was costing him a bunch of money.
That's exactly true. And he was giving his family a bad name. But he's given, little did he know that he was going to get caught for everything he did.
Mm-hmm. I see. I mean, that is so cruel. I mean, clearly I haven't followed this case in detail like you have, but I just thought that maybe Paul was mistakenly shot or he did plan on killing him, but he just did it in a fit of fear.
He was, out of both of them, he wanted to kill his son more, I bet.
Wow. Oh, that's so awful.
I listened. Have you listened to all of those podcasts?
Oh, no, I actually just discovered that YouTube channel today. So I watched about 4 of their podcasts, but that's amazing. I mean, I don't know who these people are that are doing that YouTube channel, but everything is so professionally done and they've clearly done tons of research.
Well, they used to work at Fitz News up until a couple days ago. I guess they quit Fitz News and they're just going to make money off their podcast. They're doing so good.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yeah.
But there's an episode that talks about Paul and his troubles as a child from the very day he was born. He's been a terror.
Oh, you mean like being a juvenile delinquent?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. How about Ms. Pepper's comment here? I don't understand why his attorneys say this. Don't know if Alex had life insurance on his wife. I'm sure he did, right? I mean, these kind of rich people, they would certainly have life insurance, right?
I'm sure he did, yes. But they also froze all of his assets. So right now, even Buster can't touch any of the money.
Yeah, I read about that also. So what does Buster do? He was trying to go to law school?
I don't know what he does, but his father was pushing him in some of the jailhouse phone calls. That's another thing. We can hear all of his calls to whoever from jail, but why can't we listen to any of the Markel's people's freaking?
Yeah. Where are Charlie's jailhouse calls? I don't know.
We're gonna get those someday. They have to come out. It's Florida. It has to.
Yeah, maybe at least we'll be able to hear some of it if it's relevant at trial.
Yeah, right.
Let's see, Paul was about to maybe go down for the boating accident. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would have, because the community or whatever wouldn't have liked it if he got away with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seems like that area is just kind of scary. That's what people talk about when you talk about like old Southern towns and good old boy systems, and people.
He even ripped off a paraplegic guy.
What did you say?
He even ripped off a paraplegic deaf guy. Well, the guy was deaf, got into a really bad car accident that left him a paraplegic, got Murdoch as a lawyer, and Murdoch took all his money that he won from the accident.
Oh, how awful. Well, did that guy ever file a bar grievance or get any of the money back?
I think now, just like the maid's kids, I think everyone's finally getting their dues, but it's still going to take a while.
Yeah.
He owes so many people money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was just totally out of it. I mean, it makes you wonder if he has some mental illness or something. Who would do this to ruin their own lives in such a way? Yeah. Okay, so
I think he's just a huge narcissist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It says he is bald but has low testosterone. Usually they go bald due to high testosterone, but he has high estrogen to testosterone ratio. So I figure it's just stress. Okay.
Oh man, he has lost a lot of weight, and he's tall. He's 6'4". He literally is a monster, inside and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His attorney is slick. You have any comment?
His attorney is slick. He really is.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what his name is. Hoolerin or Hollerin?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, no Grecian formula for men in jail. That's funny. Of course, Paul was getting expensive. Yeah, thank you. Who said Kate? Telling people that smash the like button. Madeline, very sad. Mallory Beach was so beautiful. Her parents.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what was she good friends with Paul?
No, her boyfriend was the one. Yeah, her boyfriend. The night of the accident, and they were when the night of the accident, when everyone was hurt and looking for Mallory, no one could find Mallory. Paul was laughing. He was walking around laughing and joking, and it really pissed Mallory's boyfriend off. And he said, "You see that kid over there? His last name is Murdaugh. Good luck getting him."
Oh, yeah, that is just so weird. Yeah, he sounds like a psychopath too. Why would the son be laughing after crashing the boat and possibly killing?
Even after that boating accident, he was caught all over town drinking and partying, and he didn't learn anything from that.
Mm-hmm. So awful. Well, what do you know about Maggie, though? Like, was she? Well, I mean, I guess she raised these kids. So, what kind of person was she, and did she have a job?
Yes, she had a job. I can't remember what it was, but I just heard on one of the podcasts, one of her friends was talking about her, saying that she always had to be, she always had to have more than everybody else. As a matter of fact, she was in a real competition with her sister, because her sister apparently did very well for herself too. So there was like a jealousy thing with her sister. They say she was nice, but she was, she thought she was better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I see. So did she also come from some rich family in South Carolina?
Yes, I think so, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Paul had Buster's ID, so he was able to buy liquor. Yeah, that's right. Because they were all around the same age, right? Like 18 or 19.
Yep. And there's all kinds of civil suits right now after the liquor store. Because I'm sure everyone in that liquor store knew who that family, and knew that Buster wasn't Paul and Paul wasn't Buster, but they could do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. Okay. According to Mandy Matney, Maggie wasn't too much better of a person.
Right. Exactly. That's what I heard. I didn't know if I wanted to say that though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're just here to discuss the news and stuff. So whatever you heard. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, I'm looking up this article about the life of Maggie Murdaugh, the notorious murder's forgotten victim.
Right. They did a whole podcast on her that I listened to. You gotta just listen to them all.
Yeah, that would just take so many hours. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it says her name was Margaret Kennedy Brandstetter, the granddaughter of a simple barber from rural Kentucky, who grew up to marry one of South Carolina's richest men and fly around in chartered jets, was guilty of only one thing, according to family and friends. Maggie Murdaugh spoiled her two sons. Okay, Buster, 26, was much more easygoing and well-adjusted than Paul, who was 22 when he was shot to death.
Yep.
Paul was facing criminal charges in the February 2019 boat crash death of his. Oh, so she was also his girlfriend before. Yeah, it says his one-time girlfriend, Mallory Beach. Friends.
She was out with Paul?
Yeah, that's what this article from the New York Post says. It says that Mallory Beach was Paul's one-time girlfriend.
Oh wow! Because on the boat, he had on the boat that night. I guess he was hitting his girlfriend and swearing at her and stuff. He was a real asshole.
Oh, how awful!
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, sounds like a really wacky family here.
I think so.
Okay, so it says that Paul was a handful even as a little boy. I saw him snap at least once. The family member said he told his Aunt Nancy to go F-U-C-K herself. It was about 10 years ago. He would have been around 11. I was alone with him. Maybe a few other kids were there. I was on his case about it, but he didn't give a SHIT. He did not take authority well. Wow, what a little brat. There's somebody whose son went to school with Buster. He said he and his wife knew Maggie well. He said she shouldn't be blamed for being overindulgent with her boys. An old school homemaker and mother, she never worked outside the home, except briefly when she opened a gift shop on Hampton's Main Street years ago. Maggie lived for her kids. She was at every school function. She was such a sweet person. She never met a stranger. I can't say enough good about her, and I mean that. Okay.
She never disciplined the boys either, I heard. That's why they were out of control.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so she was in a sorority. Looks like she was on the track team in Unionville, Pennsylvania. She was very close to her parents, who now live in Somerville, South Carolina. Okay, so...
none of her family will talk to the media or anything. As a matter of fact, I think her family doesn't believe that he killed her.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. I mean, at this point, they still are in denial?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is the article that I found from the New York Post from last November. It said she was very close to her parents. The parents haven't spoken about Maggie or Paul since their deaths. The father is now 77, has been in declining health since the murders.
Yep. Just like Harvey.
Yeah.
Poor old man.
Yeah, right. Well, one commenter said Harvey Adelson really isn't as old and feeble as people keep making him seem to be.
Oh, really? Well, didn't he have cancer?
Yeah, but that was ages ago, though. I think
it's
maybe
gone?
like he had surgery, and I mean, it seemed like he was able to continue practicing being a dentist. So that happened ages ago, maybe when Wendy was in college or law school or something, I think. Yeah. So this is a picture, I guess, of Maggie and her parents. It says she was born when they were living in Nashville, but then her father's job with DuPont led him to be transferred first to Wilmington, North Carolina, then Unionville, Pennsylvania. That's her. Yeah. Okay.
So when Paul and Maggie were murdered, Murdoch, Alex put out $100,000 reward for information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make himself look good.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So let's take a look at some of these other comments here. Yeah. Thank you guys all for being here. I just thought it would be nice to talk about something other than the Dan Markel murder and Adelson case and stuff, but we can certainly talk about that too if people want to.
Never get enough of that.
I know, totally, because that's the case that I've really been doing a deep dive into also.
Right?
Yeah. So
because we got a whole trial to look forward to too.
Yeah. Exactly, and you do really want to see some people get their comeuppance, especially Charlie Adelson. Okay, Paul refused to let anyone else try to drive the boat before it crashed.
Yep.
Murdaugh is just a pure sociopath and really not that intriguing. Besides, he was pure nepotism. Yeah, Adelson is far more interesting. Yeah, because it involves other people and people from different socioeconomic classes that got involved, due to money. Yeah,
You know, a
just
lot of
listen.
other people are getting in trouble for his acts too, because he didn't do this stuff alone. He plotted with friends, attorneys, and bankers
Mhm.
to do all this stuff he did.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, just from what I've seen, the people from the Palmetto Bank were totally crooked or not really doing the right thing either, and then possibly a
And a
judge.
judge too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, just listen to Paul on the 911 call regarding Miss Gloria. He's bothered. He has to answer any questions or even report the accident. Oh, yeah, how terrible. And this was a lady who had worked for the family for so many years, right?
Yeah.
So wasn't there excuse that, oh, she must have tripped over the dog? Do you think
That's what they said. Yeah, no, I think he pushed her. I think she pissed him off and he pushed her. And it probably wasn't the first time that he's hit her over the years. It's
Oh,
like, that lady probably took a bunch of abuse from that boy.
that is so awful. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so Adelson has a sister who manipulates sociopathic mom, roided out periodontist son who banged underage women in the well, I don't think it was in the Bahamas. It was in maybe Colombia or somewhere maybe in the Philippines. Yeah. But yeah, totally I agree that the Adelson case or Dan Markel case has really drawn a lot more of my attention than this case.
Yeah.
Okay, Murdoch is so very complicated and intertwined. Adelson good as well due to the toxic family. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, he was a little shit in that 911 call. Oh, I haven't even heard that. Did you hear it?
Yes, I heard it. Yeah.
So what was he saying in the call?
He was like, "Can you get someone here? Why are you asking me all these questions? Can you just get someone here?"
Oh,
Yeah. And then she got on the phone and she's like, she's just lying at the bottom of the stairs. Is she breathing? I don't know. They were both just, I'm telling you. He pushed her down those stairs and that mother covered for him again right off the bat.
Yeah.
The dog's fault. The dogs can't talk.
Okay, I don't think Alex actually has an opiate addiction. He just tried using that as a smokescreen for all the dirt he was in. Apparently, he was also involved in drug trafficking.
I agree. He definitely was involved in drug trafficking, but he didn't do drugs. No way. There's no way that he could be a lawyer and just, no.
Really? Well, there are some lawyers with drug problems.
Yeah, but the kind of, I don't know. I don't know. He had his hand in everything, that guy.
Mm-hmm. Who else was involved? It was on the banker guy with him. I just saw part of that podcast on the Murder podcast YouTube channel where they were talking about a female judge with the last name Mullins.
Yep, she's in trouble too.
Yeah, for what, like signing off on the insurance settlement or something regarding the death of the housekeeper. I can't remember
exactly it.
Yeah, I can't remember all the details, but there is one podcast that's totally devoted to how crooked the judicial system around there is, or that there were a lot of irregularities or strange goings-ons with how quickly the insurance claim either settled or got rubber stamped by the court. So that was something like $4.3 million payout from the insurance, which Alex, of course, took the bulk of that, if not all of it, instead of giving it to the housekeeper's sons.
Dick Harpoolian, that's his name.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I knew it would come to me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, do you want to switch and talk some more about something else now?
Sure. I mean, you know what? Did anybody just finish watching the trial of Matthew Moore? He was found not guilty for the staged suicide of his wife.
What? I don't even know anything about this. What is that case?
Oh, this was in Ohio. He had a wife who supposedly walked herself out to the woods and hung herself, but it was proven that it wasn't suicide. It was definitely a homicide, but prosecutors didn't have the proof that it was him that did it. But I say he just got away with murder.
Wait, so what state is that in?
Ohio.
Okay, so
And it's Matthew, Matheau, if you ever look it up.
oh, okay. So what happened already? Is
It's
there
over.
a trial coming
He
up?
was just found not guilty yesterday or the day before.
Oh, he was found not guilty?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what kind of evidence was there that they tried to use to show that he killed his wife?
Well, she was beat amongst the face first, and you don't do that to yourself before you commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, text messages back and forth that they didn't get along good. They just didn't have any. It was all circumstantial.
Mm-hmm. Was he also like the last person to see her alive?
Yeah, they had just celebrated her birthday the night before. That night he killed her, I think.
Oh, how awful. Well, there's just like so many crazy, horrible crimes going on all across the United States that, I guess that's why there are YouTube channels completely devoted to crime.
I can't wait for the Sarah Boone trial. Oh my God, I can't wait. You have to watch her police. You have to watch her police interrogation video.
Oh, totally. I watched that. I also saw the police
You did?
interview of police interview of the apartment complex manager and of Jorge's
She is something else.
brother and her ex-husband.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope she takes the stand because she's gonna be one funny chick on the stand.
No, I hope whoever her fifth or sixth attorney can convince her not to take the stand.
No, I want her to take the stand.
Well, just because she's so full of herself and just adamant that it was not intentional.
You know what the thing with her
not intentional.
Is I think she would have been better off if she had admitted, yes, I was drunk and I went upstairs and I passed out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what she did because she kept insisting, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. I wasn't drunk. And then during the interrogation, she says, I'm going to blame it on the alcohol. Well, you just said you weren't drunk. How are you going to blame it on the alcohol? She doesn't remember her. She's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, she's such a doofus. Like, didn't she try to tell the cops that she graduated at the top of her class? She was a top student or some BS like that. Yeah,
she was talking herself up like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Well, so you guys take a look at Deep Dive True Crime, where he has a bunch of interrogation videos, and he also has, like the police camera when they spoke with her ex-husband. I can't believe she got some man to marry her before, and she has a son with him.
And he still takes care of her. He's a very nice man. And
really?
I'll bet you anything he's visiting her in jail and giving her money in jail and even bringing the kid to see her. Yeah, well, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. He's a super nice guy, though.
Well, that little kid is definitely better off without this crazy mom and all the, drinking rages and fights and violence. And
that video was very hard to watch. Did you watch the video of him crying in the suitcase?
I watched a few seconds of it, but I knew I didn't want it in my head. I did not really want to watch the whole video, but it came up as something to watch from True Crime today. So I only watched a little bit of it, and I was like, no, I don't want this to keep flashing in my head. These
she once put her son in a suitcase too and closed it.
What?
Yeah, she did it to her son once.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is wrong with her? And I still don't
understand. He wanted to.
Well, how do you think he wound up in the suitcase anyway? Do you think they were really playing hide and seek?
And I bet you she said something like, I bet you can't fit in that suitcase. Watch, I'll fit into it. And she probably folded herself up in it and said, no, you do it. And she probably punched him a couple times and then zipped it up. And then once she zipped it up, she pushed it down the stairs.
Yeah. And I thought there was also probably a suspicion that she probably beat him with a bat while he was inside the suitcase because he had
that wasn't it. She tossed him down the stairs in it.
Yeah, that is just insane. It's like, but I don't even see how he managed to fit in that suitcase, though. I mean, how tall how little?
He was very skinny. He was tall. I don't know how he fit in, but that's how he died because he was so folded up that he couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. So weird. Yeah. Her son was in the same suitcase. Yeah, supposedly they're playing hide and seek, but that's her side of the story, right?
Yeah, hide
We
and
were
seek.
doing artwork, we were painting, and then we
Yeah,
played
what
hide
is
and
she,
seek.
12?
Or 5, like how
Yeah,
old is
5.
they play hide and seek, like 5 years old. Gosh. Well, I mean, we shouldn't be laughing, but it does seem like Jorge was like a bum that was living off of Sarah, and
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't there something about him stabbing her with a knife in her
I'm
leg?
5'4" and 140 pounds. I could probably get in the thing.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I thought I heard somewhere that he had actually gotten into a fight with her at the apartment, and he was chasing her in the backyard or somewhere, and then stabbed her in the back of her leg with
Yeah,
a
they've had
knife.
plenty of fights. I mean, the neighbors knew them well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the poor apartment complex lady, I mean, she was probably glad to be rid of these people. They seemed like problem tenants.
Nice places, too. I don't know how they afforded it. I bet you
Um,
the ex-husband was paying her alimony.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She was just living off of her alimony
Let's
and
talk
girlfriend.
Charlie, Madeline said.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Miss Pepper says he was 5'4" and 140 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, that's how much I weigh.
Oh, okay.
That's how tall I am. And I can't see myself folding myself up into a suitcase, that's for sure.
Yeah. This is also awful, but I can't help laughing what has gone wrong with society. That suitcase case is unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that's why I clicked through, because the way that Mentor Lawyer put it up on his YouTube channel, it said, "I need my Dr. Pepper," with this like pathetic looking lady. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna click on this, and that's how I got caught up in finding out about that case. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian did support them.
Yeah. Okay, so Ultra Testosterone says the suitcase case isn't that interesting either. She's just a nut and should get life in jail. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Watch, I think.
Huh?
I think it'll be a funny trial to watch just because of her alone.
Yeah, and the poor attorney that's going to be appointed to defend her. I mean,
Oh my
you got to
God.
think, like, what is this attorney going to do? How are they going to defend her? Like, oh, it was unintentional. He just climbed in there, and yeah. But I couldn't believe that she actually recorded him on the cell phone too. What an idiot! While she's taunting him and he's begging to be
If
let
she
out.
hadn't have done that, she wouldn't be in as much trouble as she is.
Yeah, that's right. Like, she could have lied and just said she blacked out or she went
Yeah.
upstairs, and well, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
was drunk. I'm sorry. Blame it on the alcohol. She
Yeah.
should blame it on the alcohol.
Yeah. Okay. So now I think, oh yeah. Hey, I love Lucy. Thank you for being here. I think the Dr. Pepper caption is from, oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that was Mentor Lawyer that put something there about her like craving for Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, she kept asking the cop if she could go in and grab her Dr. Pepper because she was so thirsty.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's talk briefly about this. What do you know about the David Tron's case?
Who?
Do you know
Nothing.
anything?
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, yeah, there were some commenters that mentioned that, so I quickly Googled it. So I really don't know much about that case. Apparently, he's some guy in Orlando who allegedly strangled his wife, but I don't know anything else about that. Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about the Adelson case then, since everybody here is hot to trot to talk about Charlie Adelson and the Dan Markel murder case then.
Well, that was really interesting what we heard last night about his arrest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that was
totally.
some good info, I have to say.
Yeah.
But I did not agree when he said anything about Wendy.
Yeah. And I did watch Mentor Lawyer's response or reaction to that last
and
night.
He's exactly right. He just that guy Epstein just didn't understand that, she was playing the cop. She's manipulating the cop by saying what she was saying. Of course, if you're saying, "Oh, shouldn't you be arresting me?"
Yeah, shouldn't I be read my Miranda rights? Yeah. I did. I was surprised because I didn't know that that's what he was going to say.
A little naive he was about her.
What?
Very naive he was about her.
Yeah, and there's definitely more than a few points that make it seem like she was involved. I mean, I definitely feel like Wendy is involved,
Me
but whether
too.
that's enough to charge her with anything from a legal criminal law perspective, that I'm doubtful.
Honestly, I would much rather see Donna arrested than Wendy because we know for sure Donna was what was involved. So
Oh yeah.
I want to see Donna arrested, and then I will be happy.
Mhm. I say, yeah.
Because those boys shouldn't lose their mother either. You know, I would just much rather see Donna go to jail than Wendy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like there's plenty of evidence against Donna, so
Definitely.
they're just maybe waiting to see if Charlie will turn on her, but I doubt it. Yeah. Okay, so Ultra says Charlie Adelson seems pretty low IQ though, where he made all kinds of calls to his ex-girlfriend, etc. Why would he do that? He should have distanced himself from her and never put any monies. Yeah, because I guess, back then, like people still didn't really think that their calls were being wiretapped. So,
No, they just thought they'd never get caught. That's all.
yeah, because they had gotten away with it for what, a year and a half? Nothing
Yep.
happened, more than a year and a half. So I guess he got complacent and felt like he had gotten away with it because he's the maestro and he's so brilliant at orchestrating things so that there were those layers of culpability protecting him, supposedly.
Alex did rip off his own law firm. That's true.
Yeah.
Though someone just wrote, am I seeing things before you? I'm seeing.
Well, there are just like so many comments. I don't think I'll be able to get every single. Yeah, the first thing she gets are boobs. Yeah, you're talking about Katie. Yeah. So she might need surgery later on if something happens with her boob job, and then the taxpayers will pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, if something happens, if one explodes or something, of course she's got to get a surgery.
Yeah, because prisoners still have rights to medical care. Yeah, Wendy used WhatsApp and seems far slicker and not getting caught on tape. Yep. Yeah. Do we see any similarities between Charlie Adelson and Charlie Manson?
No, I don't.
I'm not really sure because, I didn't really read all into the Charles Manson stuff, but definitely in terms of Charlie, it seems like he would be an interesting personality to study, just based on his arrogance and his narcissism. And
I've watched a few documentaries about him, but
so do you think there are similarities?
No. Just well, I don't know. Was Manson a narcissist? Because that's what Charlie is. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I did read over part 1 of Jeffrey Lacasse's police interview today, and he did say that based on the fact that he works as a social work professor and he had worked with juveniles in the criminal justice system before, that he felt that Charlie had some sort of antisocial personality, like something was wrong with him, completely lacking in empathy. And, it just seemed like he was one of those like problem children that red flags were going off when Jeffrey Lacasse met him. And he only spent about 4 hours with him.
You know what else Epstein said that I don't agree with? I think that Rob will testify in Charlie's trial for the prosecution because he said, oh, he had nothing to do with it. No, he had nothing to do with the murder, but he has family knowledge, like family dynamics. Like he might be called just for that character annihilation.
Yeah, but that's another reason why you typically have these motions before the trial to keep out certain evidence to make sure that it doesn't come out, because you can't just smear somebody in a murder trial and say, well, this person's a sleaze bucket who went to young hookers in another country and he's
there'll be hearings about all that, right?
We
have so much to look forward to
before the trial. Yeah, so I really doubt that Rob Adelson is that useful, just to say like, yeah, my brother's a sleaze bucket, I've known him all my life. I really don't think that's going to be admissible or allowed.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, but we as the public, we've been like reading all this information, which
Yeah.
again, maybe it's biased or whatever, but I think the general public that's been really hearing about this case does have a pretty bad opinion of Charlie as a person and his character and stuff. But the issue at the trial would be, can the prosecution prove all the elements of the crime? Did he actually, plan the murder? What were the acts that he did to plan the murder? Can they prove that, as opposed to, oh, he's just a sleaze bucket, so lock him up because he probably murdered somebody or conspired to murder somebody? Yeah, so
I think they were all. I think Charlie and Donna were sitting around the pool one day, and Donna said, "You know what? I wish that guy was dead."
yeah,
And Charlie thinks he's so great. He said, "You know what, Mom?
I can make it happen. I'm the maestro."
Yep."
Yeah.
And I believe that they didn't tell Wendy at first, but she eventually knew, and she knows.
Yeah, she definitely knew about it, but what overt acts did she, actually perform in furtherance of that conspiracy? That's what we're not really sure of.
Knew. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Ultra is saying, how could Donna Adelson be so stupid to send money to the ex-girlfriend using her own dentistry business after the killing? Or Charlie,
like I said, they didn't think they'd get caught.
Yeah, exactly. And they figured, well, the excuse is that she's working there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and how would they know she's not?
Yeah, exactly.
They followed her every day for like months.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, with the cell phone records, they noticed that her cell phone never pinged near the towers that were around where the dental office was. And you also have the office workers there confirming that we hired this other person to clean the office. She was never there to work. Yeah.
Never.
So many pieces had to come together. Yeah. Wendy didn't talk too much about WhatsApp. Oh, okay. So Tron's is in court next week. Wow, another case to get into. They should have distanced themselves from the ex-girlfriend and played dumb at a minimum. Well, I mean, they thought they were playing dumb, but I guess Katie wanted more and more money and more favors, and Charlie was willing to do that to keep her quiet and, give her payback for her role in the murder.
I don't think she ever would have said anything, even if he said, "No, I'm not giving you any more money."
Yeah.
Right? Really? Do you really think she would have, Charlie? Come on.
Yeah. What Donna said to Charlie was so revealing, even knowing they were likely being bugged. Yes, exactly. Like, what good was it to talk in code when they're already being wiretapped anyway? Because no normal people talk like that. Like, this TV is about $5,000, in a hushed voice, as if then nobody will hear them. So, yeah, totally. So, let's see. Yes, justice for Dan. Yeah, True Lifestyles and I are going to be doing a joint live stream maybe on Wednesday where we're going to read some of Wendy Adelson's deposition in the criminal case. So I find that arrest story quite amazing. Did he say guns were placed all over his house? Yeah, they had like a huge cadre of armed officers all swarming the house just in case he came out and got violent. So I guess, they obviously had to be overly prepared rather than under-prepared. So, but then it turns out he just comes out wearing flimsy boxer shorts and all in disarray and mumbling nonsense and just acting like he might be drugged or something, or maybe he was just really sleepy. Who knows? Yeah. That was very interesting. Oh,
I wish they would have videotaped. There was cameras there when they arrested him, but it didn't show anything close up. I remember
yeah, who knows? Because True Lifestyles, I think, said that she tried to request or ask if there was any police camera footage of the arrest, and she was told there was none, or at least she couldn't get it, right? Yeah. Okay, so Donna was so stupid after the bump part 2. She basically admitted she knew everything on cell phone. Why are they calling each other on cell phone talking about it? Yeah, because they were just so stupid, thank God, that they were so dumb they thought that they had almost gotten away with it and didn't think that they were being bugged yet. Isn't that weird? Yeah. Exactly. Oh, okay, so Mentor Lawyer is going to repost his response to Steve Epstein again tonight. Yeah, because some people were saying he took it down today.
Yeah, I was looking for it again, and I was like, he deleted it.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe he wanted to edit out something that he said that might have been wrong. I don't know. Okay, they should have been using an encrypted chat system that is IP to IP and doesn't use cellular. Yeah, or just meet in person, right? Yeah, hubris. Oh, okay. Thank you, True Lifestyles. That's very nice of you to say. She's talking about the interview with Steve Epstein yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think about the rest of the interview outside of, where so many people disagreed with his assessment about
Interesting. Very interesting. There was, he said some things that I didn't know. He said things that I didn't agree with. But I really, that stuff about the arrest, that was the best.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was also interesting. Oh, what?
Something I hadn't heard anything about.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was also interesting that Wendy kind of wrote back to him in this snippy way after he reached out to a couple of her friends, and and then wouldn't even respond to him when he asked her, like, sure, I would love to talk to you, and here we don't have to talk about the murder, but here's some things I would like to know about you, like your upbringing, your childhood, school, college, whatever. And then she totally ignored him and was rude and mocking him later. Yeah. Okay, Donna needs those handcuffs. Well, then she should have met it. Yeah, they should have just met in person. And so, of course, Wendy was probably going over there to see her mom and dad all the time anyway, because they helped her so much with the kids. So a lot of the communications were in person with her. Could Wendy be charged with cover-up after the murder for claiming she... No, I mean, just claiming that you made a Best Buy appointment. I mean, that wouldn't be like something criminal. Although you think they could go after her for perjury, because the reason she was given that limited immunity was so that she was supposed to tell the truth, and then they couldn't use anything that she said at the trial against her in any sort of future prosecution against her. I guess that's a good summary of it. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, my ultimate conclusion is that the prosecution probably has bigger fish to fry, so that's why they're not going after her for perjury at the
Donna
time.
and Charlie.
Yeah, and also, thanks to good old Google, I remember reading that in Florida, you cannot be charged with accessory after the fact if you were actually a close relative of the person who committed the murder. Okay, but don't take that as legal advice, because I don't want people jumping on my case if I'm wrong, but I remember looking that up in response to some other commenter's question.
Deep Dive is on live right now? Oh, no, he posted his Deep Truth Premium. I don't know. I just got a pop-up from Deep Crime. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, but that's just what I vaguely remember after just looking it up online about punishment for a crime of accessory after the fact. Yeah, because I do not practice criminal law and am not licensed in Florida. Yeah, but I don't think she can be. Oh, okay, here it is. See, Google is so great, isn't it? It makes everybody a lawyer, right? Let's see, where is that statute here? Okay, so Florida statute says accessory after the fact. Any person not standing in the relation of husband or wife, parent or grandparent, child or grandchild, brother or sister, by consanguinity or affinity to the offender, who maintains or assists the principal or an accessory before the fact, or gives the offender any other aid, knowing that the offender had committed a crime and such crime was a third-degree felony, or had been an accessory thereto before the fact, with the intent that the offender avoids or escapes detection, arrest, trial, or punishment, is an accessory after the fact. Okay, so that's why, based on my reading of it, it says any person not standing in relation of husband, wife, parent, grandparent, child, grandchild, brother, or sister. So isn't that weird? It's like, why is there that exception that you can help your husband get away with murder, or you can help your brother get away with murder, and
Yeah.
you can't be charged with accessory after the fact? Interesting. I mean,
It's
that's
just
my
that
take on it, but disclaimer, this is not legal advice. I am not licensed in Florida. So nobody get on my case if I got that wrong, but I'm just showing you the statute as it shows up. So interesting. Okay, so that's the law in Florida. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Instagram and other apps. Oh, totally, because there have been times that I would talk about something on the phone, and then I open up my Facebook and I start seeing ads for
Me
something
too.
related to the phone call, like new doors, like, oh yeah,
Even if I just think it, I swear.
Yeah, totally. It's like everywhere you go, we are all being stalked, and all the advertisers are following us around on the internet. So after I started getting all into the Dan Markel case, I started seeing ads on YouTube for dental practices and dating women in the Philippines.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was just kind of crazy. I'm like, oh, great. There is no privacy. Yeah. Chucky, can you buy me a bag? Somewhere I heard or read Donna made that appointment for the princess. Yeah.
Yeah, and they knew Kappelman, whoever, I don't know who was questioning her, but they said, who made that appointment for you? And she said, I did. And the Kappelman said, your mother didn't make that appointment for you? And she said, no, I did. So I think she really should have pushed her, because if she knew that a good lawyer never asks a question that they don't know the answer to already. So she should have pushed her.
Yeah. But that wasn't really the meat of the case, because, they're trying to get Katie convicted of murder. So I think maybe that's why Kappelman didn't keep pushing and bringing out all sorts of transcripts or whatever else. It wasn't.
Yeah, and the
really
jury,
necessary.
didn't someone on the jury say that they thought Wendy was a liar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I read. Okay, so can you refute Epstein's points on Wendy? Sounds like he's very certain Wendy is innocent. Yeah, well, I mean, I think she was involved and she knew that the murder was going to happen because, okay, so feel free to jump in, Toni. But first, I read somewhere that she had already started cleaning out her room in her parents' home back, wasn't it in June when she went to Florida, near Miami to visit her parents?
I heard that.
That's true. That's kind of bizarre. Like, why would you be cleaning out your childhood room, as if she's already knowing that she's going to be moving back down there? Number two, I disagree with Steve respectfully. Thank you, Steve, if you're out there watching. Thank you. But I disagree in that her driving to Trescott, that is very, very suspicious. I mean, what kind of person does that? Huh?
It sure is.
Yeah, because she had no reason to be driving by Trescott, driving totally out of her way. When you look at one of those maps, which they also showed at the trial, of the weird circuitous path she took, why would she need to drive south from her Aqua Ridge home, south all the way down to
Trescott? Even her neighbor called her and was concerned about the police.
Yeah, and she showed no concern because she claimed that it was maybe a downed tree or an electrical storm or some BS like that. I mean, nobody's going to believe that. I think any normal person would say that just doesn't fly. Like, why would you, number one, drive all the way out of your way down from your home conveniently about an hour or a little over an hour after the murder happens or the shooting happens, and then luckily that police officer saw her vehicle suspiciously, making that quick 3-point turn to just like get out of there. And he said, most people would slow down, because they're curious, like, oh, what's going on? But this vehicle, the minivan, I think it was an Adelson, yeah, just suddenly, did that quick turn to get out of there. So it's like, okay, she did admit to the police later that she had driven down towards that way, but if you saw that, if you saw the crime scene tape or all the police presence and stuff,
I would have been worried.
Yeah, you would have stopped to investigate and go talk to the police officers, like, what's going on here? That's where my kids just stayed, and that's where my ex-husband lives. What's going on?
Yeah, I would
that's what any normal person would do instead of, oh, looks like he got shot, so I'm out of here,
You knew
And then,
exactly what was going on in that neighborhood.
yeah, that is very suspicious. And then driving all the way back west to go out of her way to this faraway ABC liquor store, and then going all the way back north to Mosaic, where there was at least one or maybe even two places she could have bought liquor right near where she was meeting her friends for lunch. Like, there was no reason for her to be making that weird driving path, much less going right up towards where the shooting had happened with all that police presence and do nothing, to inquire about things. Yeah. So that I find very damning. Also,
so it's the bullet bourbon, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Buying the bullet bourbon. That's bizarre.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Same
here. Also, people were saying that she had already basically started packing up stuff and hightailed it out of town right after Dan's memorial service. So the next day, Monday, was when she and her parents just, were heading back with the boys down towards Miami again. And she never actually went back to her own home to live again. There was a commenter who said they had talked or heard from someone that lived in her neighborhood who also thought it was really weird because they just suddenly saw all these movers or big moving truck go to Wendy's house so soon after Dan had been murdered, and took all her belongings and stuff, and she's already got her new life. And this also happened conveniently right before the time that the kids would start school down in Broward County, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, and also, why would she need to tell Jeffrey Lacasse, allegedly, that if anything happened to Danny, then she would move back down towards Miami?
Yeah, I don't know why she said half the things she said to him.
Yeah, and talking to the kids about death or about God the day before Dan is shot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she mentioned that in her police interview, and she was almost kind of giggling about it, recounting her conversation with her sons about death and God and what the son said. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was kind of giggling with the police officer about that. Let me pull up the comments in case people have more stuff they want to add. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It looks like Mentor Lawyer is also doing a live right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll probably end it.
You can't do that while you're on.
Oh, well, we need to coordinate better since we're drawing from the same pool of people, right? Okay, it really bugged me when she would answer. Okay, but there's more to talk about in terms of Wendy, but it's not anything that I have actually written out and really thought out to respond to. But those are the things that off the top of my head make me feel like, yeah, she was involved. These things are too weird. The possible framing of Jeffrey Lacasse and suddenly being interested in where he was going to be on Friday and what time he was leaving and stuff just after she sort of broke up with him. It doesn't matter that I don't think the relationship was really that fluid. I mean, it seemed that Jeffrey felt like she was trying to break up with him. So, although he did later tell the police that he thought there was a smidgen of a chance that they might still get back together again. But he thought it was so weird that he did mention it to the police officers that Wendy suddenly became very interested in what he was doing on Friday and details of his trip. Yeah. Okay.
By the time he testified, though, he was ready to go. He was done with her.
Yeah. It bugged me when she would answer any questions on the stand, incorporating an entire question. Yeah, it gave her more time to think of how she was going to lie her way out of answering it. Okay. Yeah. So my opinion there. Okay. Wendy is cunning. Charlie, okay. Yeah, maybe we should end this because I am interested in jumping onto Mentor Lawyer's channel. Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, we just have too much to talk about. We haven't even touched on that crazy Chinese American dermatologist lady with the Drano, but maybe that'll be a different live stream.
Yeah, I got to read up some more. I haven't even heard anything about that lately.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything lately either.
Oh, he's doing a replay of yesterday.
Yeah, he's doing a replay, but if he's going to be on the chat, then we can dig for more information. Steve said about
Stay
Wendy
here,
Martin.
Patty said. Patty said stay here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a replay, but it's already been an hour, and I don't want my live streams to be super long because then that decreases the chances that people will watch it. So, yeah, I agree with you, SM. Yeah, I agree, because the more I think about it, it's like, what? That's nothing compared to being able to like take her kids and then leave Tallahassee, which is what she wanted to do all along. I mean, who cares about getting in front of a stage in front of a bunch of college students, versus, yay, I'm free, and then my kids can be down there before school starts in Broward County. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Toni. Do you want to make any last comments?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. Thank you, everyone. I'll be back, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, definitely. We always have so much to talk about. And sorry I couldn't get to everybody's comments, but let's get on over to Deep Dive True Crime so we can see what's going on over there. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, Toni.
Bye.
Oh, you can stay on.